The Vorthak expedition vessel Eternal Seeker dropped out of quantum slip space with its usual mechanical precision. Commander Zixrath's sensory appendages twitched as the scanner displays flickered to life, revealing an anomaly that shouldn't exist. "Impossible," the science officer hissed through translator implants. "The database shows this system was sterilized by the collapse wars 3 centuries ago. Yet there it was on every sensor, a thriving colony on the 3rd planet. Atmospheric readings showed oxygen levels consistent with Terra. Energy signatures dotted the surface like bioluminescent algae on a Vorthak spawning reef. Most shocking of all, the genetic markers in the atmospheric samples were unmistakable. Human. Zixrath's translator crackled with disbelief. Humanity had been extinct for over 200 standard cycles, wiped out when their homeworld became a lifeless cinder during the final days of the war. The Galactic Council had even erected monuments to their memory, celebrating their contributions to science and culture before the tragedy. "Maintain stealth protocols," Zixrath commanded. "Deploy reconnaissance drones. I want to know everything." The drones descended through the atmosphere, their adaptive camouflage rendering them invisible to primitive detection systems. What they revealed over the next several hours challenged everything the Galactic Council believed about humanity's fate. The colony sprawled across a temperate continent, home to approximately 50,000 individuals. The settlement patterns were distinctly human, chaotic yet purposeful, lacking the geometric precision the Vorthak or Catherine would have employed. But it was what the humans were doing that sent ripples of shock through the command crew. They were thriving without technology, not struggling, not barely surviving, thriving. The drones captured images of vast agricultural fields tended by hand, irrigation systems powered by nothing but gravity and human ingenuity. Humans had constructed buildings from local stone and timber that would have required molecular bonders in any civilized species toolkit. They had even established a functional society with markets, schools, and what appeared to be democratic governance, all without a single quantum computer or plasma welder. "How is this possible?" the science officer whispered, mandibles clicking in confusion. Humans were classified as a Tier 2 technological species. They couldn't survive without their machines. The psych profiles were clear. Zixrath studied the feeds intently. Something else had caught her attention. The humans weren't just surviving, they appeared happy. Children played in streets lined with flowering plants. Adults gathered in communal spaces, sharing meals and stories. There was laughter in their movements, joy in their expressions. "Send a diplomatic shuttle," Zixrath decided. "I must understand this." The landing party touched down in the colony's central square at dawn. The humans had been warned of their arrival through long-range communication, though their response had been curious rather than fearful. A delegation waited, led by an elderly woman with silver hair and eyes that sparkled with intelligence. "Welcome," she said in flawless galactic standard, though her accent carried the musical quality unique to human speech. "I'm Elder Sarah Chen. We've been expecting visitors for quite some time." Zixrath's translator struggled with the implications. "You speak our language. You knew we existed." "Our ancestors left us records," Sarah explained, gesturing toward a stone building. "Not digital, of course. Those failed within the first decade, but humans learned to write long before we learned to compute. Knowledge preserved on paper and in memory lasts far longer than any hard drive." Inside the building, they called it a library, Zixrath discovered walls, lined with handwritten books and carefully maintained manuscripts. The story they told was remarkable. When Earth fell, a single colony ship had escaped, its quantum drive damaged and navigational systems failing. The ship had limped to this uncharted world on emergency protocols, crash landing with 8,000 survivors and almost no salvageable technology. The radiation from the damaged drive had fried every circuit, every computer chip, every piece of advanced equipment they had. Most species would have perished within months. Humans had looked at their situation and adapted. "We remembered," Sarah said simply. "Humanity spent 10,000 years surviving without technology. Our ancestors knew how to farm, how to build, how to heal with herbs and careful surgery. Those skills were still in our genetic memory, still in our history books, so we taught ourselves again." "But the psychological impact," the Vorthak science officer protested. "Our models predicted complete societal collapse. Technology-dependent species cannot simply revert to primitive states without mass trauma. Sarah smiled gently. Perhaps that's where you misunderstood us. We weren't technology-dependent. We were technology-enhanced. There's a difference. Technology was always just a tool, never a crutch. When the tools broke, we didn't break with them. Zixrath spent 3 days in the colony documenting everything. She watched humans teach complex mathematics using nothing but marked stones and string. She observed surgical procedures performed with sterilized metal instruments that would have been considered barbaric in any council hospital. Yet the survival rates were impressive. She attended a concert where humans created music with wooden instruments carved by hand, producing harmonies that stirred something primal in her neural cluster. On the final evening, Sarah invited Zixrath to a gathering around a central fire, an ancient human tradition, she explained. The entire leadership council attended, along with dozens of curious colonists. "Why did you come?" Sarah asked. "After all this time, why now?" "We believed you were extinct," Zixrath admitted. "We mourned your species. The council erected monuments. Yet here we are." Sarah poked at the fire, sending sparks dancing into the night sky. "Will you tell them? Will you bring us back into galactic society?" It was the question Zixrath had been wrestling with since arrival. Reintegration would bring technology, medicine, access to the stars again. It would also bring politics, bureaucracy, and the homogenizing effect of galactic culture. "That's not my decision to make," Zixrath said carefully. "It's yours." Sarah nodded as if she had expected this answer. "Then we'll need time to discuss it. Come back in 1 year. We'll have an answer for you then." As the Eternal Seeker left orbit, Zixrath compiled her report for the council, but she added a personal note, one that would spark debate across 100 worlds. "We cataloged humanity as a technological species. We were wrong. Humans are an adaptive species. Technology is merely one of countless tools in their arsenal. They survived not because they forgot how to be civilized, but because they remembered what civilization truly means: community, cooperation, and the relentless human drive to build something better from whatever materials they have at hand. Perhaps it is not humans who need to learn from us, but we who need to learn from them." The report ended with footage of human children playing in the colony square, their laughter echoing across light years. In that moment, the galaxy realized something profound. Humanity hadn't merely survived extinction. They had transcended the very definition of survival itself.